Minister of Education, Habib Bakr, is there. So thank you very much for orders. And this is Sohm TV you are watching live.
Inside will show at least a short biography of Jamila while she prepares. Yeah, so Jamila, you are invited on the stage to deliver your remarks. Okay, technical side, if you can show that, we will be very happy. In the meantime, we have invited 32 schools to this prestigious occasion. And due to other circumstances beyond our control, only 19 or 20 of them precisely turn up. I think this deserves your claps. And let's appreciate ourselves. Having to see
Okay. We have
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished ministers, honorable members of parliament, esteemed judges, parents, media, invited school. Good afternoon to you all, and welcome to the READ Gambia READ 2025. Held under the inspiring theme, inspiring a reading revolution across the Gambia. Today is a historic moment, one in which we gather not only to celebrate reading, but to shape a new national culture of literacy, knowledge and youth empowerment. The READ Gambia Foundation is deeply honored to host this event, where schools from across our nation to before we begin, allow me to express my heartfelt appreciation to all invited guests. Honorable Louis Francis Mendy, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Basic and Secondary Education. Honorable Bukhari K, Deputy Speaker, National Youth Parliament. Honorable Sekou Saho, Party Leader, Golden Era. Nene K. Yasin, who will officially launch the foundation. Our partners, schools, media, and press houses, and supporters across the country. Your presence today shows your value placed on education and future of the child. While we are here today, the story behind READ Gambia, ladies and abroad. But he decided to come and support the educational system in the Gambia. Individuals, writers, and students. A choice. Modi made a choice of nation building, a choice of service. He chose the Gambia, he chose his people, he chose the next generation. Modi has given more to literature in the Gambia than any other writer of his time. Among his many achievements, founder of the Young Writers Association, first Gambian to receive the Literacy Award, creator of the Prize of Literature under the Writers Association of the Gambia. He is a mentor to hundreds of people in the Gambia and across the world. This activity can compete with the world. Each participating school today represents the hope of millions of our nation. Our judges will evaluate based on clarity, comprehensive, fluence, and endurance. The state present, but no matter who wins, every reader here is a champion. We extend our sincere appreciation to our sponsors, Motherland Restaurant Event Center, Bell Pottery Company, African Gambia Limited. On behalf of the READ Gambia Foundation, I welcome you all to an unforgettable celebration of good voices and national pride. Let the reading revolution begin now. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Miss Jamila Tujalo, the Acting Secretary General of the READ Gambia Foundation, for the welcome remarks. I think this is really brilliant, and thank you for the kind words. At this juncture, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Madam Nene Che Yasin Seka, Gambia's famous philanthropist, the current Vice President of the Golden Era Party, and we also have Honorable Sekou Saho, who is the party leader of Golden Era, with the delegate. Special remarks to be delivered by the Deputy Speaker of the National Youth Parliament. Let him be set, get prepared, Deputy Speaker. And this will be followed by a statement by Ms. Ngode Pane, the Managing Director of E&P Group. And from there we have a statement to be delivered or made by Honorable Sekou Saho, Party Leader Golden Era. Just in case the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports is here, or else the Permanent Secretary will have to do that, then we go straight into the reading. So ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I'm excited to invite Buhari Gay, the Deputy Speaker of the National Youth Parliament, to make a statement. Do we have Buhari here? Get to know about this young man. What the verse 1 that we remember your Lord in the days of your youth before the doomsday come. That's what the young man has been doing, reading. He's a nation builder. As you can see, I don't need to read this, but just to give you a prelude of who he is. Sekou is a US-based Gambian politician, an entrepreneur, a youngster, a visionary leader who's been supporting communities and driving change in the Gambia and beyond. He is currently the president and party leader of the Golden Era Party. And I don't need to bust your bubbles, ladies and gentlemen. At this juncture, I have the honor of inviting Sekou to make a statement. Can we celebrate and appreciate Sekou? These claps are not very loud. I don't know why. Oh yes, yes. This was how we clap in Kenya. This was exactly how we clap in Kenya. Sekou, you have the floor to make a statement on this auspicious occasion.
Hi everyone, my name is Sekou Saho. Good afternoon. Good afternoon everyone, distinguished guests, organizers, parents, teachers, and most importantly the young, brilliant minds gathered here today. It's an honor to be at Riathon. This is an event that celebrates. I would like to address the young champions here. You may not realize yet, but every time you open a book, you unlock new doors. Some doors lead to new worlds, some lead to new ideas, and many lead to discovering who you can become. Reading is not just an activity, it's a superpower. It gives you the strength to dream beyond your environment, the confidence to speak with knowledge, and the courage, to speak the future, to shape your future. I grew up in the Gambia where opportunities were limited, but books made, my world bigger. It gave me the opportunity to see the world far better, far wider than I could ever imagine. And that's why events like this matter, because the future of this country will belong to those who read, those who think, and who can imagine boldly. So to every child here, we say read with passion, read with confidence, and read with pride. To the parents and teachers, thank you for guiding these young minds. Your encouragement, and let's build a culture where learning is celebrated, encouraged, and rewarded. And a rising nation is a winning nation. To the kids, as you compete today, winning is good, but learning is better. Certificate is fake, but the knowledge you attain today lives with you forever. So,
ladies and gentlemen, anytime Sekou speaks, you're going to learn two things. You're going to learn citizenship, and you're going to learn dedication, commitment, and perseverance. He is very soft-spoken. He only speaks when it is necessary. I've known him to be a perfect gentleman with an ordinary young person, but the Deputy Speaker of the National Youth Parliament of the Gambia, representing the young people. Can we invite Honorable Buhari Gay to make a statement? Let's join his hands and welcome Buhari Gay.
Thank you. Gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. It is an honor to be part of READ Gambia as a guest speaker. I would like to extend my gratitude to the organizers for inviting me to share my thoughts on this auspicious occasion. As the Deputy Speaker of the National Youth Parliament and the winner of the Best Storytelling Competition in Banjul NEC of 2022, I am passionate about empowering young people through education and literacy. Reading is a fundamental tool that opens doors to new knowledge, perspective, and opportunities. It is through reading that we gain insight into our history, culture, and the world at large. Reading isn't an option, but a command from God through a verse called Iqra bismi rabbikal ladzi. Read in the name of your Lord. The theme of this event is particularly significant as it highlights the importance of reading in our personal and national in our country. This event is a testament to the power of collaboration and the impact that we can achieve when we work together towards a common goal. As we celebrate the joy of reading, let us also recognize the critical role that literacy plays in nations' development. Let us continue to promote a culture of reading and learning, and work together to build a brighter future for ourselves and for future generations. Once again, I would like to thank the organizers for this opportunity, and I wish everyone a successful and enjoyable event. Let us keep.
Program is proudly sponsored by Motherland Event Center, Golden Era Party, and People's Movement for National Unity. Where official goes, nobody dares to follow. Official Gambia Limited, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Ministry of Youth and Sports, and we have our partners as well, the Birkama Area Council. Alright, so are you not going to appreciate our partners and sponsors? Oh, that appreciation is excellent. Definitely, no doubt. We don't want to bore you with speeches. My teachers never taught me how to summarize when I was in high school. Okay? So, let me acknowledge the presence of a few important people who have just joined us now. We have Mr. Omar Barrow and Mr. Papa Jan from the People's Alliance for Change. They're sitting at the back. Let's welcome them. You're welcome. Let's appreciate them. This gathering will not have been possible without the school authorities, the teachers here. Teachers, wherever you are also welcome. We acknowledge your presence. You know, school coordinators, you are all welcome. Thank you very much for joining. If I skip any name, my brain is not assimilating the truth. I am in doldrums. I don't know what that means in English. Maybe I'm in low spirit. But that will not preempt me from moving very smoothly to the next item of a statement, because we've just received directives from the government that Honorable Louis Moses Mendy, who is the current permanent secondary education, and the person of Dr. Abibatu Drame, who is very unfortunate. So Honorable Louis Moses Mendy, the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. Anyone who talks about education, anyone who knows anything that has to do with education in the Gambia knows this name. Very recently, one of the African countries of World Bank, these people, a delegation with their minister, permanent secretary, had to come to the Gambia for their study tour, to study our education system, the education policy. I think we should clap for ourselves. I should not even ask us to clap. Yes, that shows how impressive, we've been doing and how amazingly well we have these people who are managing our affairs in terms of education. Therefore, Honorable Louis Moses Mendy now have the floor. Let's invite our permanent secretary to give the keynote address on behalf of the minister. Honorable, you have the floor, sir. You're welcome.
This is it. You will see program view and then
Thank you very much, my dear brother, colleague and friend. Thank you for the invitation. Good afternoon, good evening to my colleagues on the high table. You do excuse me for not individually calling your names out, because I don't want to miss out. And like my forerunner said, I also don't want to be caught up in pronouncing people's names wrongly. Having said that, I want to, in a very special way, recognize my colleagues, the teachers, and the students that are here. I bring you greetings from the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, the Gambia. More importantly, I bring you greetings from Dr. Abibatu Rame, the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education. I am happy to join you on behalf of the education family in this very important event. Why is it important? We are here to celebrate our students in their academic pursuit. Reading is a culture that one needs to nurture. And reading has a relationship to writing. He or she that reads than you has the higher tendency to write than you do, in the tone. And it also gives you the different styles in which people say the same thing but in different ways. So as a ministry, we are very, very interested in ensuring that our students, some of us only had this. It means, so it's a great opportunity for you, and I urge all of you to participate in this meaningfully. Know how many of us have read with all honesty on our foundational learning, so that children are exposed to reading at a very early age. By the time you are in grade 3, you should have been able to read at least with accuracy and speed. And that is what the ministry is doing. So we want to really encourage you, dear students, to take up the reading culture as your habit, make books as your friends, and eventually we will urge all of you to go into writing your own books. Because in that way, you will be practicing and exercising the different styles that you might have come across in your reading environment or as you proceed. So, on behalf of the Honorable Minister, like I said, and the entire management of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, we want to encourage all different grade levels so that the students will have that culture of reading. The competition could be done and employed at the level of the schools, not to wait for such an event that might only come once in God knows what time. So I want to congratulate the contestants that will be coming here, and I wish you all the best. I wish you all winners. Like I said, nobody is going to be a loser. It is only bad if you do not make an attempt to do reading. On that, I want to once again thank you very much and say that the ministry is very, very proud to associate itself hobby and the habit to read one book every year. 12 months is not difficult. Just try one book every year. And with that, I'm sure you begin to see the law, and you can go beyond that to read 2 books, 3 books, 4 books in a year. Thank you very much, Mr. Sohm.
Thank you very much, Honorable Louis Moses Mendy, the able permanent secretary at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. He has tasked all of us to do what? To read. So therefore, let's read. Shall we? Read Gambia. What's the hashtag for this event? They are not saying it. Students, don't worry, food will, can I call it snacks, will soon be served, right? Let me acknowledge Kex Sane, the name Kex Sane rings a bell, right? What bell does it ring? When it comes to investigative journalism. He's deputizing for Honorable Modu Turo Dabo, Gambia's philanthropist, who is very unfortunate not to be able to be here with us because he's gone abroad to do some. But he has dedicated him to Madam Aissatou Ndao, the current Vice Principal of the Gambia College. Let's clap for all these amazing people. And we also have an author, not just an author, ordinary writer. Maybe you students take your pens and papers and write this because it's not written in books. The word prolific, when we say you are a prolific writer, we are not referring to your greatness or your ability to write. We are referring to the large number of books you have published. And the Gambia's most prolific writer is Dr. Sidi Drame, who has written 33 books, and he's here with us. Let's clap for him. He's the most. Also, Sira Sise, Sira, thank you for coming. Omar Baro, Papa Jan. One people, one nation. That's the hashtag of Modu Turo Dabo. One Gambia, one people, one nation. So we are one Gambia, of course, and we are one people, and it is one nation.
Good afternoon, each and every one of you here. It is a pleasure to be here, to be part of this historical event. On behalf of Mamadou Turo Dabo, the People Movement for National Unity, we are pleased to be associated with this noble initiative where we write things that will be remembered forever. Because I believe that if we want to keep the history, we must write and write and write, so that tomorrow the young generations will know where the country started and where we are up to the time they have taken over. And as the People Movement for National Unity and Vision Development as a household name in the Gambia has ever been empowering young people. Almost we have 39 students that we have sponsored from primary school to university degree. That shows you that Vision Development Foundation has ever been champion of education and will continue to support such initiatives. So on behalf of the foundation, we thank the organizers of this event to say that we will be together with you in your journey to make sure that we write our history so that our young people will know what happened and the empowerment of young people. On that note, we thank you very much and wish you a successful launching on behalf of Vision Development Foundation.
Thank you.
Hey, in Jola, when somebody does well and you speak, we say, Takumurego, Aubujutu Kane. So when I say Takumurego, you say, Aubujutu Kane. Takumurego. I am It's good. Thank you. That's a bad joke. And that's actually something incredibly great. It was a powerful speech as usual. No doubt. On behalf of Modu Turodabo, CEO of Vision Development Foundation. Students, in particular, let me acknowledge one of Gambia's finest artists or musicians. We all know the name, right? Does it ring a bell? This is not time for class. In the building, we have Acidic with his delegation, Lolly and Diamond. Yeah, Diamond, Acidic and Lolly, you're welcome. Can you wave for them? Let's make some noise for Acidic. Acidic is launching his first album on the 17th of January at the Trade Fair ground. I mean, everybody here should be there, all of you, all right? We know Acidic, right? We are addicted to eating smoke, right? So right now, we will move very smoothly to the next item on the program itinerary. But before I invite this lady, I would like to tell you something about her. Because the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 31 verse 30 that charm is deceitful and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. And this woman fears the Lord, she shall be praised a lot. She is not just a politician, she is not just the vice president of READ Gambia Foundation, and she will make a statement and she is our chief guest of honor. I want your claps to be louder than this. Let's welcome Nene. Make some noise for Nene. Thank you so much, madam, for honoring our invitation. Students have been calling me, is she going to be there? I look up to her. She's my role model. Are you serious? Is she going to come? And here she is.
I can stand here. It's always a pleasure to be here. You want me at the back of the podium? Is this on? Right here. Good? Good afternoon, everyone. It's always a pleasure to be here. Every time I'm asked to come around you guys, I always make time. Because I remember being in your exact position, in your exact situation. It gives me great pleasure and pride to be here. Education is what got my father out of poverty. My father was from a family of 22 children, and he's the only one that went to college. Education is what got me out of poverty. Education is one of the certain ways you build a life with pride. And it's something that you do that no one can take away from you. I am able to stand here because I took the time and made it my responsibility to educate myself. It gives you a voice as a woman. It allows you the opportunity to be able to take care of yourself and your family. The literacy level in Gambia is 60%. Only 60% of us graduate high school. We have a lot of work to do as Gambians. So it gives me great pleasure to be here because this focuses on one of the most important issues in my life. I had 3 jobs, and paid my way. I was able to get a master's degree in business and went back to school and studied to become a nurse. I turned around in opened a successful business with my sister. Today, that business generates millions of dollars in America. I am able to live in Gambia, live the way I want, have no obligation to anyone because I educated myself. So if you don't take anything away from me, know that I am able to have a voice because I educated myself. I did not depend on my parents. I did not depend on my husband. I depended on no one. So my voice to women, Gambian women, you can be anything you want to be. If you ever doubt yourself, look at my life and see what I've been able to accomplish. At age 50, I retired from America as a businesswoman, a millionaire businesswoman in dollars. And if I wasn't educated, I would not have had that opportunity. Education is what put me in the right rooms, in the right places, in the right time to have the correct conversations. It's going to be difficult. It's never going to be easy, but keep trying, keep pushing. I love you guys, and we're going to make Gambia a better Gambia through education. Good.
Thank you very much, Madam Nene Cheya Sinseka, for the motivational speech. This is so inspiring, and we have heard what she said. Those of you who've been calling to say, is my mentress going to be there, my role model, she's here. She's given you the weapon to her business, to her success, to her career as one of the deservedly highly praised and appreciated women on this continent of Africa, Gambia in particular, as a country. Let me acknowledge another writer very quickly in the person of Miss Fatou Diouf, the author of My Scars. She's here with us. Let's make some noise for Fatou Diouf. And one of Gambia's finest event organizers and dancers and women activists, in the person of Ndeye Fatou Jabang, famously called Flex Vision Electra. She's here. Let's appreciate, let's make some noise for Ndeye Fatou Jabang. Thank you for honoring our invitation. You're all welcome. I had wanted to come with a barrel or a bucket so that my tears, because when you praise me too much, I cry since I was young. And they will tell me, Ndesan, good joy. When I heard Madam spoke softly and kindly and eloquently, I am tempted to go back to school to learn. But I will kindly move very smoothly to the next item on the program itinerary, because we have got a lot to do, so that we will not be here the whole day. At this juncture, I can see from your happy smiles and from the way you look at me that snacks will be served to you very soon. Those of you requesting for a bottle of water, if you taste more than water, you're going to be so excited. So we are moving straight into the readathon competition, and we will have the first group to read. And if I mention the name of the school, let the participants be backstage so that they will come. Can we have New Yundum Upper and Senior Secondary School backstage, Daddy Job Comprehensive School, Kinderhof Bottrop Technical Junior and Senior Secondary School backstage, and Brikama Methodist Academic School backstage, Kapafita Upper and Senior Secondary School backstage, All Yundum Upper and Senior Secondary School backstage, Yunus English School backstage, and Kairaba Senior Secondary School backstage, Yalisa Senior Secondary School backstage. As the participants or contestants are present, let me tell you something so exciting about them. We wanted to contribute positively to national development by into that. We are into literacy.
Give us a bit of spoken word poetry.
just a glimpse, because I know by the time Sophia Tuju takes the podium, it's going to be something very hot. See, those things too hot and too cold to handle. So, Usman Barrow, where is he? Do we have our poet around? Usman Barrow, the last king poet, is he around? Okay, let's make some noise for him. We know the Guinness World Records. Guinness World Records, we know it, right? On the international stage, the Guinness World Records. Okay? So, Usman Barrow, I can't find him. Therefore, I will hand over straight and call on the first participant. But I will be happy to tell you the name and the title of the book that he or she is going to read. And authors in the building, teachers, coordinators, you must tell them what to read. That's what God said we read it in that as well. So, once again, I just want to confirm if the poet is set. Is Usman set? Is he here? Okay, it's like we can get him. So therefore, let me call the name of the first participant and the title of the book he or she is going to read. And I am starting with participant or contestant number 3. Can you appear on stage? Let's make Marie Gomez, School of Nursing, Banjul. Marie is contestant number 3, and she is representing the School of Nursing, Banjul. Marie, she will introduce the title of the book she will read, and we take it from there. You have the floor.
Good evening. Good evening to you all. As you all know, I'm Marie Gomez from the School of Nursing and Midwifery. I'm here to read the book titled So Long, a Letter, written by Mariamuba, a Senegalese writer. Here we go. Dear Aissatou, I have received your letter by way of reply. I am beginning this diary with proof of my distress. Our long association has taught me that confiding in others allays pain. Your presence in my life is by no means solutions. Our grandmothers in their compounds were separated by a fence, and with extreme messages daily. Our mothers used to argue over who realities of life. Dreams die. I still keep intact memories and thoughts of remembrance. I conjure you up. The past is reborn, along with the possession of emotions. I close my eyes tight, images, drops of sweat, beating your mother's auto-colored face as she emerges from the kitchen, a procession of young wet class chatting on their way back from Springs. We walk the same paths from adolescence to maturity. My friend, my friend, my friend. I call on you 3 times. Yesterday, you were divorced. Today, I am a widow. Modu is dead. I enjoyed the telephone call which disrupted my life. A taxi failed. Faster still. My throat is dry. There is a really lump in my chest. Faster still. At last, the hospital. Disordered faces, train of tearful people, known and unknown, witnesses of this awful tragedy. A long corridor which seems spread out endlessly. At the end of the room, in the room, a bed. On a bed, Modu stretched out, cut off from the world of the living by a white sheet in which he is completely enveloped. A trembling hand moves forward and slowly uncovers the body. His hairy chest at rest forever is visible through his crunched shirt and thin streaks. This face sets in pain and surprise. It's indeed his. The bald forehead, the half-open mouth are indeed his. I want to grasp his hand, but someone pulls me away. I hear Modo, his doctor friend, explaining to me. A heart attack came on suddenly in his office while he is dictating a letter. The secretary had the presence of mind to call me. Modo late with the ambulance. I think the doctor after that, he minds the massaging of the heart that was undertaken, as well as the full-time course. A tumultuous the order said, where to lie down, middle-aged man's dignity. I hold tightly to my prayer beads. I tell the beads ardently, remaining standing on legs of jelly. My lion speaks as fast as the written of a childbirth. Cross-section of my life spring involuntarily from my memory. Grandiose verses from the Quran, noble words of consolation fight for my attention. Joyous miracle of birth, that miracle of death, between the two, a light of destiny, says Maudoba. I look intently at Maudo. He seems to be taller than usual in his white overall. He seems thin to me. His red eyes express 40 years of friendship. I admire his noble hands, hands of an absolute delicacy. Supple hands loose, tracking down illness. Those hands moved by friendship and rigorous science could not save his friend. Modern power is indeed there, I certainly. The uninterrupted procession of men and women who have learned of it, the waves and tears all around me, confirmed his death. This condition of extreme tension sharpens my suffering and continues till the following day, the day of the interment. What a certain crowd of human beings came from all parts of the country, where radio has relayed news. Women, close relatives are busy. They take license, eau de cologne, cutting wood to the hospital for the washing of the dead one. These 7 meters of white Muslim, the only clothing Islam allows for the dead, are carefully placed in a new basket, the Zamzam, the miracle water from the holy places of Islam. Religiously kept for each family is not forgotten, which dark robbers are choosing to cover more. My back propped up by this person. Our of our cheeks becomes more deeply harrowed, a quail, each more wins, those big beautiful eyes which open and close on their secrets, perhaps their regrets. At the age of love and freedom, free care, this child is touched by sadness. While the men in a long irregular file of official private cars, public buses, lorries and mopeds accompany Modo to his last rest. People were for a long time to talk of crowd which followed the funeral process. We walk in hand, get up and throw some coins on the closing canopy so as to ward the evil spirits. This is a moment created by every Senegalese woman. The moment when she sacrificed her possessions as gift to her family-in-law, and the one still beyond her possessions. She gave her personality, her dignity, her becoming a thing is a service of the man who has married her, his grandfather, his grandmother, his father, his mother, his brother, his sister, his uncle, his aunt, his brother, his sister, his uncle, his aunt, his male and female cousins, his friends. Her behavior is conditioned. No sister-in-law will touch the head of any wife who has been stingy, unfaithful or inhospitable. As for ourselves, we have been deserving, and our sister-in-laws sing chorus of praises, chanted at the top of their voices. Our patience before all trials, the frequency of our gifts find their justification and reward today. Our sister-in-law give equal consideration to 30 years and 5 years of married life. With the same ease and the same words, they celebrate 12 maternities and 3. I note with outrage the desire to level out, in which Modu's new mother-in-law rejoices. Having washed their hands in a bowl of water, placed at the entrance of the house, the men back from the cemetery, 5 past the family group around us. The widows, they offer their condolences, punctuated with praises and of the deceased. Modu, friend of the young as of the old. Modu, good brother, good husband, good Muslim.
Thank you so much. Let's give her a round of applause, a bigger one for that matter. Thank you, Marie Gomez. representing School of Nursing Banjul for reading the book titled So Long a Letter, written by Senegalese writer Mariam Ba. Thank you, that was really awesome. I think we've just had something about the book, we've learned a lot. And I would like to acknowledge the presence of Miss Ngone Pane, who is a consultant, the current managing director of E&P Group, and she has worked as the senior advisor at the ITC International Trade Center for the creative industries of the Gambia. Let's welcome Pane. Let's make some noise for Ngone Pane. Pane, be on standby. You will soon be asked to come and make a statement here, just when we're done with the first round of our participants or contestants. I have this honor of inviting contestant number 5. Contestant number 5 is Tina Kamara from Sibek High School. Let's make some noise for Tina from Sibek High School.
The oath must be fulfilled. By Aisha Girl. I want to make sure the last person of the day, you can hear me, right? The lady with the blue. Thank you. Chapter 1. Aqua, the tormented spirit. It all started long ago, when King Sayumba was on his way to his kingdom, along with a few guards and a slave. He was in a hurry because a festival was about to take place in his kingdom, and his presence was highly required. He was in such a mood, was desperate and famished, so hungry that he was in no mood to receive it. Do not for a moment think that I care, because I don't. The voice returned. By this time, it had dawned on the girls who were referred to as the butlers that the spirit was a bit different, because this spirit was bigger. And he braced himself for what he knew was not going to be an easy ordeal. I sincerely apologize. We were in such a hurry that we were not really watching our way. Please do let us go. It is important that I get to my palace right away. Saying repeated. What? I didn't let you go. How else will I quench this space for blood inside me? I want blood now, and none of you will leave until I am satisfied. Aquila excitedly screamed at the king and his party, wasting no time in making his true intentions known. He was hungry, and all he could see was his next meal. Blood? What blood? But I mean, where do I get that from? Sayumba asked, nervously, although he had a something feeling that he knew exactly what the spirit meant by his request. He looked around at his bed, and his sight was beset on a terrified bunch of people, whose fear of death was evidenced by the quiver of their hands. This was a far cry from the customs of their land, and what they were all born to do as butlers. Butlers! Is this our end? He shouted out, wondering where his beard was. Rallying the butlers and praise singing is supposed to be his work. Kajira Gari is his name. He came forth with his leotard crew and started praise singing. Butlers, never before have I been so ashamed to travel with fearsome butlers of the Tongunte kingdom. It should be an honor to die for your king and kingdom, for your name shall honor the Sayumba royals. My brother Sayumba was a great king who was widely known and respected as a man of his word. His kingdom was one of the biggest, wealthiest of all kingdoms of Africa. To undertake a gruesome journey before they were crowned as king. This journey tested their bravery, endurance, compassion, and honor, and stretched them to the end. Every true Sayumba king must endure this journey to be considered a worthy ruler of the Tongunte kingdom. By the gods of our land, I shall live and die only in the service of my beloved king. Let me be the one to die for my king and kingdom. Upon escape from the king's party, roused by the shame that he felt over the butlers and his love for the king, he was resigned to sacrifice himself to save King Sayumba. The king was surprised in awe of this gesture from a poor slave. However, this could not temper the disappointment and despair he felt over his badness, cowardice. The guards, as it was to the king, no less, because the guards were surprised as it was to the king, no less, because the slave was an old man who had served the Sayumba royals and the people of Tombite all his life. All eyes were now on the slave. He was a very old man who was all brave but still safe-strong. He approached the king and continued, I shall sacrifice myself in your place, but on one condition. Dharma, he joined his ancestors. The Turis have been known for their decency, loyalty, and selfless service to the royal family. Dharma Ture is the son of Bailey Ture, a true servant of the kingdom of Ture, and a descendant of the Ture clan. Tanjiro played his flute whilst he said this, leading Dharma towards the king, saying, who was pleased with him. And what is this favor you ask of me? King Soyinka asked Dharma. Your Majesty, all my life, I have lived in the service of your noble family at Ture. I have watched my father and grandfather both dedicate their lives in service of the Sayumba kingdom and the people of this great Tombite kingdom. This has been a duty conferred upon us for generations. We will willingly serve you with honor, and not once have we ever asked for anything in return. However, today, as I am about to sacrifice myself in your place, I humbly make a request, something I have always wanted. Dharma now was with God.
Thank you so much, T. Kamara from Sidek High School, for the wonderful, well, she's just done something great so far. And then I would like to acknowledge the presence or the arrival of Gambia's finest female artist. Miss Jobis is in the building with her sister. You are welcome. And Kalajula, yes, Miss Jobis is doing something great. We also have Laxmin. He's an artist, very talented young man, even though he's disabled. And I think the United Nations has rectified that. They've now called them persons with special abilities. That's the new name. What did I say? Persons with special abilities. Let us not call them the disabled anymore. They ain't disabled. They are persons with special abilities. He'll be invited here very shortly to show us his ability. Right now, Mentena, I'll just go straight forward and then invite.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Secretary S. Jame from Hadibala International College. I am here to read a book named Hala. Okay. My name is Secretary Sohm Jame. I am a student of Hadibala International College, and I will be reading a book named Hala by Sembet Usman, a Senegalese man. The businessman had met to mark the day with a celebration worthy of the event. Never before in the history of Senegal had the Chamber of Commerce and Industry been headed by an African. For the first time, the Senegalese occupied the presidency. It was their victory. For 10 long years, these enterprising men have struggled to capture this last passion of the colonial era from their earths. They had come together from different sectors of the business community to form the Businessmen Group in order to combat the invasion of foreign interests. It was their ambition to gain control of their country's economy. Their anxiety to constitute a social plan of their own had increased their combativity, changing it into xenophobia. Over the years, they had managed, with some help of the politicians, to obtain a foothold in the wholesale trade and a lesser extent in the import and export field. They had become more ambitious and had tried to acquire statement, he had specified those branches of public must of one of their number as president of chambers of commerce and industry and gave them renewed hope. But the man gathered together on this auspicious day. The road was now open that led to certain wealth. It meant access to the heart of the country's economy, a foothold in the world of high finance, and, of course, the right to walk with head held high. Yesterday's dreams were beginning to come true. The full significance of what was happening today was felt in days to come. Its importance fully justified this celebration. The group's president posed in his speech. His eyes shone with satisfaction as they came to rest rich members of his audience. 10 or more expensive dressed men, the cut of their made-to-measure suits and their immaculate shirts were ample evidence of their success. Smiling and relaxed, the president resumed his speech. Friends, this is a great occasion. Since the beginning of the foreign occupation, no African has ever been president of the Chamber. Perhaps because of their megalomania, they always refer to the Chamber of Commerce and Industry as the Chamber. In appointing me to this post of great responsibility, our government has acted with courage and shown its determination to achieve economic independence in these difficult times. This is indeed. We must show that we can measure up to the confidence the government has placed in our hands. But it is time now to bring this memorable day to a close by reminding you that although we are anxious to belong to a modern world, we hadn't abandoned our African culture. I called upon Al-Haji to speak. Al-Haji who was seated on the president's right, rose on his feet. His full-cropped hair was streaked with white, but he carried his sleepy old ears. Friends, at this precise moment, looking at his gold wristwatch, the marriage has been sealed at the mosque. I am therefore married. We were married. How many times does that make it? Come out alive. The group humorous capacity. I was coming to that life. I have now married my third wife, so I am the captain, as the Africans say. Mr. President, will you all do me the honor of being my guest? A fitting way to end the day, gentlemen. The women are waiting for us. Shall we go? The meeting was over. Outside, a line of expensive cars was waiting for them. Al-Haji drew the president to one side. Take the head of the convoy. I must go and collect my other two wives. All right, I won't be long, said Al-Haji, climbing into his black racing. More than his chauffeur drove up. Al-Haji had once been a primary school teacher, but he had been dismissed from during the colonial period. After his dismissal, up as a middleman in property transactions, he had made an increased number of friends among the Lebanese and the Syrian businessmen, who became his associates. For nearly a year, they had held a monopoly in the sales of rice, a staple commodity. This period of success had placed him way ahead. Then came independence. By now, he had capitals and connections, so he was able to set up his own. He turned his attention to the south, especially the Congo, concentrating in the importation of dried fish. It was gold mine. Until a competitor with better ships and more some business connection for the title of Al-Haji and Ajah for his wife. He had 6 children like this one. The eldest, whose grandma was a student of the university. Al-Haji was what one might call a simple. true culture. Business had joined him into the European middle class after a feudal African education. Like his peers, he made skillful use of his dual background. But their fusion was not complete. His second wife, Umidori, had given him 5 children.
Marie Kamara from Yunus English School.
The name of the life work. The book highlights some of the issues happening in Gambia, just like ethnic discrimination and development in such way of life and modernity by government after government have never reached this village. The trees were sprouting new leaves, monkey leaves flowering a wedding. The God had given people the opportunity to do just that. On this particular night, Yohan was sitting at a lonely, quiet spot on the watersome, in spite of the pain, in spite of the joy, crossed a bundle of grass at him. Accepting the bundle, he saw his money was as rare as 10 feet. In its place, rents were used in exchange for goods and services. The barter trade prevailed in the market. While Yohan was amusingly looking at the beautiful baby girl, wrapped in grass, a brilliant thought occurred to him. I will name this beautiful girl after my sister, he said to himself. That would save me the trouble of borrowing money for the naming ceremony. It will also give me the opportunity to bridge the widening gap between us forever. His sister was running a small business in the poor town of Banana, and she would be able to pick up the expenses of the naming ceremony in her honor without too much cost. Yohan was busily turning over this idea in his head when the baby started to cry again. Chapter 10. Duke took it and gave him each first meal of breast milk. For the rest of that night, Yohan did not sleep much. The idea of going to Badala to inform his sister of the happy news and his decision to honor her with a namesake, this would raise some eyebrows. A day later, as the sun was ascending the morning sky, when the herders were milking their cows before heading them to wherever little pounders could be found, Yohan was already on his way to Badala. The first part of this journey, which had to be made on foot, followed a track that passed through 3 villages before joining the gravel road constructed a year before. But the truck going to and from the stone prairies. Late in the afternoon, he reached this road and soon on board a truck, a well-known venting for an inhabited public room. Bound for Badala, the truck bounced and swerved along the windy, dusty road, leaving behind a cloud of red dust that had colored the surrounding vegetation. They passed through several villages, sometimes stopping to pick up or drop off a passenger, before finally arriving in Badala around sunset. Yohan easily located his sister at the dirty seaside market of Badala, busily packing her wares from a store. However, she quickly inquired about all the members of the family and his neighbors before packing her wares in the market store and leaving. It was very smooth for the couple in the beginning.
Thanks for calling a party. Yeah, thank you. Okay, Madam Acidic Miss Jobis will have the floor and our point. So be
The newspaper in Africa. Such events and incidents usually come from 2 main sources: political leadership circles and socio-cultural circles made up of a wide range of people who thought the leadership and the general public with a particular emphasis on governance, transparency, and their potential or actual impact on the economic and social development of the misinterpretation and or misrepresentation of facts, subjectivity or bias, to cynicism and outright falsehood. In other words, while the journalist commits to investigating and presenting the truth and not in expectation of more serious occupational hazards under both elected government and authoritarian rulers. In effect, the fate and profiles of an impressive list of Gambian icons of print journalism, whose unrelenting agitation magazine that has been published in the Gambia over the past century. Particularly insightful are the memorable quotes at the beginning of each chapter. They each set the tone, as it were, and the content of the respective chapter. Incidents of abuse of the freedom of the press and the human rights of journalists. The challenges are, however, a long way yet from being resolved and remain an ongoing global concern.
It is obvious that this book is the outcome of long professional commitment of the authors from its...
I would like to invite Miss Ngone Pane to make a statement. Ngone Pane, the technical side will show us Ngone's short bio. She has been instrumental in the Gambia's creative industries development.
And we could say more than thank you to each and every one of you for joining us today. We appreciate the effort, appreciate the participants. I was going to do my usual long speeches.
Yeah, I have been overwhelmed with the speech, so much so that I was following the alphabets in the air. I went searching for A in Apple, you know, A for Apple. I don't know if that's correct.
Thank you, Pane, for the very brief and inspirational speech. It was a statement. Very nice one.
I'm going to read a book entitled The Watchdog of the Gambia, authored by Nene. And here it reads. Many years ago, when Portuguese sailors first arrived on the river Gambia in their big ships, they were looking for gold. They did not find much gold. Instead, they settled down to speak English and the others speaking French. People at the borders led farms. Chiefs lost ladies as people were forced to move in order to breed their families. The Europeans then marked boundaries around the different portions of land and called them colonies. Villages were divided, one human beings. The Europeans began catching Africans as slaves and taking them on ships against their will to the islands of the West Indies and to America. Rich English farmers owned large fields in America and they needed people to work on them. The slaves were transported in chains and were treated very badly. Millions of Africans were captured and sold. Perhaps the two best known diamonds among them were a boy captured in Duflet named Punta Kinte and a sickly girl taken from Yomi named Phyllis Wheatley, and who became a great poet after her life as a slave. After 300 years of this cruel trading, the British decided to stop. The British government abolishonists to keep their soldiers, raised the flag of Britain, and placed light guns on the beach to fire at any ship that came by carrying slaves. They called the settlement battles. The list of these light guns still stand today outside State House in Banjul. The island was small, swampy and full of mosquitoes, but it was a safe place to be. People were still being chased in the bush as slaves. Others were escaping from religious wars along the river Gambia. When they heard of battles, they ran there for cover, happy to be protected by armed British soldiers, but it is now called Banjul. What started slowly soon became Eros. People go far as away as other slave settlements further down the coast, Sierra Leone, Liberia, the Gold Coast, and Nigeria. Craftsmen came, so the refugees, freed and liberated slaves, traders, teachers, missionaries, beggars, the able, the sick, and the dying alike. The men, women, and children.
From Oyindun Senior Secondary School, this was great. And is Usman ready? Usman Baro, the poet? We don't just want to have an intellectual discourse where people just listen to titles of books being read, and we go home like that. We are having a bit of entertainment, so that's why he's not just going to be the poet that will be here alone. We have some that we reserve. Those people are too high to perform here. You know, so I will invite them later. You have the floor.
Thank you. Good afternoon. How are you all doing? How many of you know me here? It's a few, so I have to introduce myself. Before I perform my spoken word, I think you guys should know this because I can see that most of you don't know me. My name is Usman Baro. I am the last poet king. No. All of us want to live with a good life. But this year, your shabby nose. You go cash money like worry behind. Worry carry last. He knows boss. Sorry go them chop like the devil be chopsticks. Trust me, these days, I daydream. I want to speak guitar. Fangolo, Changolo, Golo, Tin I say yeah. I'm done with battlefield. This year, it is breed pattern. Says Kelle, come to Soto in my Apollo. Jeans for the bow like a baobab. No apology in my contour, last. We dribble and pass fast. Leave a third part. I am feel power to the jam. 2025 go speak Yoruba. You go sabi say ninja they slap rap. We are style since day one. Boys they chop sharp. We dey try different. I'm a little people tall like a dreamer. I'm godly. Just ask you. We go tell you say I be king. But can you be ruler? Oh yeah, mention me the last king. 9 lives, fine lines, mind dying, minutes in yin and yang, timelines, time flies, flying for skyline, lying like hungry lions, in pride they leon, spine gliding like cloned legions, wine hives, outshining linens of a golden dragon, the sand we drag on, nose diving after spinning to have fun, drawn from a spiritual wagon of God's medallion, from star shining fables to fallen new rhyming drums are so few, this ones are so few, this one sends you straight to God view. 3 days, 3 nights, all minds flew, soon like omens, word weakens, words whipping, wishes word wins, wayward ways walk in, drink your blood like apple juice, make them choose, use you or dump the tongue, song the sing, when the trunk has shrunk, make it sing songs like a monk, treat no one like dung.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a pleasure to be here and see such bright man. The future of the Gambia, that's how I call it. But we have a problem. We are fighting corruption. And we have to make sure that fearless, brave, intelligent, smart, we have to apply it in every day of our lives. Because after all these politicians that are coming up, they are going to bribe us one way or other. But then we have a future, and that is the future we are going to protect. And as an activist and a poet, I love this. I love to see Gambia being on the map. And I believe you to make us proud. After going interesting, my God, the sleep, not giving the sneeze, that will cause my eye.
That leaders are readers. All the treasures of the world are buried in books. When you dig through, you'll find so many treasures, pearls and diamonds. I say organize it bigger, and take it to the
money on this course, so it's secret. We should clap for them. Yeah, thank you for coming. We appreciate your time and contribution. As the panel of judges looks, yes, artists, not even rising. I don't call him rising. Artists. What did I say? Yes, to the leader. Acidic on the stage. Mustik, you want to say something about this album launch? Yeah, Mustik will just say something about Acidic's upcoming album launch. You want to say something about it? Alright, he says it's 17th of January, 17th of January. Be there to support him, at the Trade Fair grounds. You ready? Alright, so look at Yalla Dunen, let's hear that.
Where was